Yo, what's up, people? This is your boy D Hop, aka The Weed, and to be honest, we're here to present a video about my thoughts, and my conclusions to specifically Shonen Manga and what it really is about. So, what I mean by what it truly is about, I'm gonna go into how it relates to us in the real world. And the real world consists of, particularly in here where I'm at in United States of America, consists of capitalism, right? And two major industries are education, or I'll say three major industries really: education, business for business of the prison system, and religion, the churches, right? So and the thing that ties all these together are taxes. And all three businesses, they really work together in order to create the system that we live in today, particularly here in the United States of America. Which is why, hence, it's so pushed hard that so many students need to go to college and get a career and a degree. Ignoring going to school for something you like, or going to school for something you like, but you can't really truly express, what you was initially born to do, your passions, because you have different restrictions and limitations of those passions, and control over your own body, particularly, which is, your physical body, your mental body, and your emotional body, and your spiritual body. And the most important thing is your mental, your mind, right? So by going to school all those years, you end up owing massive amount of debt. You paying all this school into it to a tuition, and you end up working to a big corporation, right? And you're consistently living up the expectations of all these different people, right? Expectations really isn't real, because it's all about your perception. Those are expectations you're perceiving, but because you've been put in an environment and you believe the situation you've been given, the artificial reality you've been given, is actually real, this creates reactions within you, chemical reactions, that those are your physical, your mental, and energetic reactions for your spiritual and emotional body, right? Because the whole situation is really bad for you. Now this might not apply to everybody, right? Some people might like the situation, or they adapt to it, but the major thing that's going on now, really, and that's really hitting me and making me think, in a reasonable way, is how everybody, of course, nobody likes going to their jobs, and it's just 9 to 5 every single day for the next 30 years, retired. Really does suck, especially when you have other options. And other options that really push you in a situation where you're actually supposed to be, which is working for yourself and doing something that you was genetically, or shall I say, predestined by your genetics to do, right? Predestined by your genetics to do. That's the thing. So that's one thing, the educational system. And the reason why the education system is pushed so much, particularly in lower income communities, which is in the urban areas, and that which is affecting particularly brown and black people, or people of African descent, mostly. People like me, particularly, and people more African than me, that has more of a kinkier hair and darker tones. A lot of them are either being pushed and going through the career system, right? That the education business is pushing, but that's really, America's actually a corporation. It's not really a nation. A nation is supposed to be about living for and by each other, but this nation, particularly, and not every nation does that either, but particularly that this nation, which is based off of capitalism, is not about that. Living for and each and by each other. This nation is about business and corporation. Social Darwinism. The strong will survive and the weak will perish. I'm not saying the strong divide, and I'm saying, and the strong is like, there's nothing wrong with that. It depends on your perception on it and your perspective. because that's a natural rule of nature. But when you take the natural rule of nature and you reverse it into into a simulation, an artificial simulation of capitalism, particularly the money system, and pacificacy of the money system that exists today, it when you apply that, right, it's not right. So going back to what I said, how the education system connects to the prison system, right? Capitalism breeds tourism, right? And this is because evolution, things change over time, and as human beings, right, we have to, ever since our conception, we have to survive in order to exist. Because the way you do this is by motion and creative intelligence and expansion. If you don't do that, you will fade out of existence. You'll be non-existent, and that's how the universal laws of nature works, right? And that's the laws of existence. Because if you don't follow the laws of existence, then it's non-existence. So consider that that's how the universal and existential laws work, right? You have to survive. Human beings have adapted over time, and because we adapted, we were able to evolve and change, creating particularly tools, right, that we can use to upgrade our current living situation, particularly in the physical sense. Also in the other parts of your body, particularly in the physical sense, right? Because technology, that's technology. Technology is supposed to make life easier. So, technology, right, will replace jobs, right? Will replace jobs that people had, because, right, you will be laid off or lose your jobs when the robots start coming in. And this happened in an industrial area, right? And this kept happening over time. There was a time when people used to work in factories, and there's plenty of jobs. But when the mills start coming in, and you know what I'm saying, all that, and when the technology upgraded, you know what I'm saying, using oil and fossil fuels and things of that nature, a lot of people lost their jobs. You know what I'm saying? It created different times, areas, particularly the Great Depression. Out of it came various wars. A lot of corporations made a lot of money off of various wars. All this tied together. So I'm not gonna go into details with it because I don't have a lot of knowledge about it, but I have a little bit about a lot of various topics where I can go into details with it that make it sound like I'm a freaking master's degree, but I'm not. I'm not gonna go into details with it. Most likely in further videos, but by the elimination of natural-born human beings with artificial technology, right? This creates people that's living on the edge of society, right? So there are two things you can do. You go out back to nature and go back to the basics without any help with technology. Or actually, it's multiple things. There's multiple things you can do with this, because you know what I'm saying. It's always at least two, but you can combine two to create 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what I'm saying? Continues on different types of perspectives on things, but it's either go out to the woods, you know what I'm saying, live on the edge of society, or you have to do things not it. You end up. You'll build your businesses, build your financial income by not following the laws, which is called illegal activities. So now, when I'm being in another revolution, was the digital revolution, and me like realizing this, coming to this realization of what's going on in the environment, particularly on this planet, and particularly in America. Now I'm starting to get more and more serious. and I have to. It's to the point where I'm trying to relax. And I'm not relaxing in a lazy way, but I'm trying to, I have to, calm myself down and stay disciplined because this really is making me think hard about hard about this stuff. Because in this era now, I always knew about it, but when you're actually experiencing it, is like, whoa, bro. If I don't catch up, if I don't adapt, I won't survive. My kids won't survive. My kids and the generations after that won't survive. And a lot of my people, right? A lot of people in general, particularly my people here in America, I'm talking about Nubians, people of African descent, won't survive because of the same type of situation over the centuries or hundreds of years, particularly done with European colonialism. And by this system of capitalism, if you don't know what's going on, you're not aware, or if you don't care, your genome will not survive. Meaning that you won't survive, and all your offspring, your relatives, your cousins, it will die off. The throat will be slit, and that's it. The blood will leak out, it will fade away, evaporate, and you will disappear from existence physically. But you will disappear from existence entirely. Disappearance will be inevitable. Disappearance is your fate. Disappearance is your reality, right? And once you disappear, that's it. Because you not existing, unless you're recorded in history, forgotten forever and eternally. Restrictions and limitations. And the thing that governs that is time. And time and energy are proportional to things. So, me realizing this, me able to perceive on this level, perceive reality on this level, what's going on in my environment, and pay attention to what's going on in my internal environment. Now is the time for us to be balanced out, right, between your internal and external environment. And I'm going to lead to how this relates to shonen manga just in like 5 minutes. But hear me out right now. 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes. Hear me out right now. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. All right. I'm going to show you and relate to you how this is going to change. Relate to shonen manga. So, with people losing their jobs and not adapting to the environment, I said the woods or on the edge of society doing illegal activities. No wonder why there's so many criminals in America. No wonder why, particularly of my people, we're so locked up. Because I'm not gonna go into the events because we know it's slavery, and then it's the Reconstruction era, and then it's the Jim Crow era, and it's the Civil Rights era, and then it's the crack era, and then it's the gang era, and then it's the hip hop era, and then it's after that it was, I forgot, it was a heroin era too, but 2010s, well, I forget what era that would be. I would say pharmaceutical drug era, particularly, what technology has done to us. It's just all about drugs. But going through these different eras, I realized the reason why people, particularly my people, is not surviving, and we keep failing and end up in this terrible situation, which affects not only our physical situation, but our mental, emotional, and spiritual situation, is because things change. If you don't adapt to the change, you end up on the edge of society, becoming basically a criminal, which I was saying about doing illegal activities in order to keep up with society. And illegal activities that'll probably mess your life up. It may mess your health up, mess your human principles up, use your humanity, right? You know what I'm saying? A lot of bad things will happen to you. You end up in jail, incarcerated, going back to slavery. And like how all this, when you know a lot about history and how all this ties together, when you know a lot about history concerning that, right? All this stuff really ties together, right? and now you see the now it's you think logically, and then you get inspired by certain thoughts, certain events around you, and within coming from within you, that's affected by things around you and things coming outside. You know what I'm saying? What you can't perceive have to come into you, so you can project that back out, and then you're able to take things back in, right? Which creates revelation. Revelation, and the revelation is that this whole thing is like so messed up. And the reason why is because people are followers, not leaders, right? They follow the status quo. They follow the masses. They follow the majority. They follow authority. Follow. They follow. You know what I'm saying? The the leader that they think is going to lead them into a better situation at that time. You know what I'm saying? They follow the authority. They follow the status quo. They follow the masses. They follow the majority. You know what I'm saying? So that said, how this relates to shonen manga? It's a programming, right? And not just shonen manga, just cartoons in America too, but particularly shonen manga are realizing the format they follow. So it starts with a kid. Either A, he's good at everything, or he's not good at everything. If he's good at everything, he has everything, but something wrong with his character. And he's bad at everything. He may have a certain good character traits, such as confidence, motivation, also not giving up, and heart, but he doesn't have any skills. Or the character has skills, but he doesn't have any confidence, he doesn't have any motivation, he doesn't have heart, he doesn't have respect. It could be the opposite, or it in many other things, combine those two things, or different traits of each other things, creating other type of character traits. So that's usually the main character, and it's usually a teenager, particularly a teenager boy, because we live in a masculine reality. Even though that's changing right now, it's changing right now, but this masculine reality that we're just coming out of, teaches and programs us that the male figure always needs to be the leader, and that's why it always starts off with male. You know what I'm saying? The main character is a male in shonen manga, right? Shonen anime, shonen manga, the main character is always a male. With that said, he either had those two type of character traits, and it's about him going through all of these hard behind trials and tribulations. Him listening to everybody what everybody tells him to do, which is work hard, kill yourself, do things that are risky but hurts your current situation, do things that you expect to get something out of, but you might die, knowing that you might die anyway, and it's better off to play it safe. Doing things like going up the villains, who usually the villains go up against the status quo, but they program you that the status quo is what the villains have set, and you supposed to be going against that. So everything is reversed and it's twisted, and Mr. Truth to lies, right? Now, that's how all manga is, and that basically sounds like life in general, and what has been fed to us by the authorities, the majority, you know what I'm saying, and the programmers of the simulation, you know, the authorities, the majority, what people say, the all fed to us by things outside of ourselves that doesn't help us. That's artificial, and it sounds exactly like that. And it kind of it's similar to the idea of American capitalism, which is go to school, get straight A's all throughout high school, straight A's all throughout middle school, straight A's all throughout elementary school, pre-K, get the scholarship, right? Go to school, overwork and studying, go clock into a part-time job, always so freaking busy, taking out so much of your time. You know what I'm saying? Taking out spending time with family, your friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Pets, kids, people in general. Taking out a time of discovering yourself. You know what I'm saying? Mental and spiritual disciplines or other type of disciplines, particularly that things that that is really supposed to be paying attention to. Taking your time out what you originally was born to do by putting yourself in unnecessary detrimental situations that you know that you hate or you highly despise. In all order so you can live up to expectations of society when there are plenty of other options. Plenty of other options. And the villains are basically people like me, people who see this way. And now it's changing in society. And that's why I know it's about shonen manga. Right? And a lot of people argue like, oh no, in some shonen manga they address these situations and the villains are actually the heroes. Which is true, but in the end how do all manga end? How does all manga end up ending? They defeat the villain, and then the main character of the show ends up doing exactly what he was told originally to do at the beginning of the show. But he's a changed man, right? He's a changed man, which is true. But, however, alright, so the villain won. I'll give you that. The villain won the show. The hero lost. The villain won. What situation you think will be in place if that would have happened on a lot of your favorite shonen manga? If the villain won. The villain, he won. And the hero lost. At the end of the manga. On the final arc and chapter. It'll be a totally different situation. Now, I'm not saying that all manga villains are all correct. But on the other side, all heroes are not all correct. Because there's multiple perspectives on everything. You can't just be one-sided. You have to be equal. You have to be balanced. You have to be in the middle. However, the programming that shonen manga does to particularly teenagers going through the puberty era, where they start thinking about like their life, when the hormones are kicking in and certain glands in their body start activating, it programs them and instills them with a certain system. And this matches the Japanese society of being in school all the time, and going to the corporations and working. They train the kids so hard to go to school. And I'm not saying please don't strike me for this. I'm not saying that education is not bad, not good. Education is great. Learning is awesome. What I'm saying, and I'm not saying don't go to college either, because college can be a backup plan. But they taught you that a business is a backup plan, and college is what you be doing. It should be in reverse on a lot of things, because it's logical thinking. Logical thinking is short thought. It's dead. It goes to a line. It's linear. It goes to a line. It's linear. You know what I'm saying? Logical thinking is short thought. It's dead. It goes to a line. Right? Where reasoning allows you to see the whole picture. Reasoning allows you to see the whole picture of things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a circle. And the circle, right, it may seem like it's just one curvature, but really, honestly, it's many different curves honestly overlap each other, and it's infinite. Because limits and restrictions are an illusion. That's where we break them. If there was such thing as limits and restrictions, how would we how are laws and rules and time and restrictions and limitations of our existence exist if we break them? How can you break something that's supposed to not break? Apparently, there's always a way out to something, right? But this current restriction, which is time, is going on right now. African people, black people, everybody around the world needs to They have to harness this right now. Harness this energy that's going right now. They need to do it. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to overstress you out. But I'm trying to tell you that whatever you're doing right now is not right. Because if you're not trying to invest in your own business, if you're not saving money, if you're not taking risk, right? If you're not doing certain exercises and disciplines to help you increase your skills, increase your mental, spiritual, emotional growth, you know what I'm saying, and physical growth, so you can apply that to the environment, apply that to what's going on in society, your life's gonna freaking be terrible. Think about it. Think about all the revolutions that happened and all the people that were left behind in the dust. What happened? They had no jobs. They was living rough on the streets, homeless, living like animals. And as a result, you create criminals because they're like, fuck it. I'm sorry. They're like, buck this crap. I'm going to get whatever I want. If I can't get it, I'm going to get it by any means necessary. Dr. King was a criminal. Malcolm X was a criminal. Every single person that disagreed with society, the status quo society, is a criminal. Because society is held together by laws and rules, right? And those laws and rules that doesn't necessarily have to be on the Constitution, because taxes is done, and that crap ain't on the Constitution. But what is our Constitution, or what is the laws and rules of the country, is business and money. And to think that money is the currency of that. It's the blood flow. It's the life force. You know what I'm saying? It's money is the gatekeeper of the laws and rules of this country and the laws and rules of the world. Right? And people who disagree with the laws and rules because it's not balanced out, because of people's selfish desires, they're criminals. Right? So, I know what I'm saying sounds kind of twisted. It kind of sounds contradictory. However, I was giving you multiple perspectives on everything. I can't really give you one direct answer. But what I realized is that shonen manga is a programming, and not just shonen manga, but a lot of cartoon shows programs children, you know what I'm saying, into a mindset that they might that's not real. And kids, that's why the kids shows. So that's why over time, when you read manga comic strips, you're gonna start moving over to adult shows because those things gonna be relatable. It makes you think deeply about things. So I like shonen manga, right? But I don't really watch it that much because for the simple fact that, you know what I'm saying, I'm at the age now where it just doesn't relate to me anymore. Because I've been through things and I have revelations, whereas I don't agree with the principles and the philosophies of the whole of the concepts of the stories that are told in a lot of mainstream shows for kids and teenagers, and not just kids and teenagers, but adults also. I don't agree with those things anymore. So right now, adapt to the situation, continue your businesses. If you're in school, continue your degrees. But make plans to do a business. Don't just end it right there because you might not make it. So don't allow these things to program you. Right? We enjoy them. It might be fun for the experience, whatever it is, but don't like allow it to control you so easily. Because a lot of these things I'm saying is common sense, but you've been reversed from common sense. Whereas common sense isn't common sense. This is your boy, D-Hop, aka the Weed. And peace to you. Have a nice day. You know what I'm saying? Stay calm. Go with the flow. And do what you need to do to survive these days of time. Do research, be aware. Don't be in a comfortable state. Don't allow these TV shows to program you or people around you or everything. The images. That's what it's about. Imagery. The imagery that's totally fed into your face, particularly in mainstream, like mainstream society. Don't allow it to program you. Take the opportunity right now. And don't go through all this mental and physical suffering if you don't have to. If you can, I'm saying, make a living or I'm gonna start saying living. The reality, like doing something that you love, like that you can naturally adapt to, you feel comfortable to doing. Make that reality for yourself. All right. Don't allow things to make reality for you. So I didn't really go into specifics exactly what manga I'm talking about. And even the manga you wouldn't think, you know what I'm saying, it still applies because at the end they might probably have still certain things, but at the end the villain lost, like I said earlier. And that's the same concept of any form of media and rap. Like certain rap artists might steal certain things, but they don't. At the end of all, that rap might be about, you know what I'm saying, killing, you know what I'm saying, your enemy's mother and kids. You know what I'm saying, shooting down blocks while caring who you hit, right? Even though they might steal certain things, at the end of all, they still wrap you into that box. So it's your boy. I'm gonna say one more last time. I'm gonna make more videos consistently because I'm trying to survive. I'm going to survive. I'm surviving right now. So this is your boy. Peace. Love out.